Thank you for joining us for our lunch today as we recognize our award program winners and our installation of officers. Welcome to the 2023 NBEA Awards Installation Luncheon. We are pleased that you are here today, and we look forward to learning more about some of our outstanding business educators who will receive awards today. Some are with us in person, while others are attending virtually. When your name is called, if you're attending in person, please make your way to the front to receive your award. I'll meet you towards the middle of the stage and we'll hand out your award plaque to you. Thank you to our sponsors, including DECA, Cengage, National Geographic, Certiport, the National Retail Foundation, and Imperative Simulations, along with all of our others. Our convention would not have been the same without these friends that come alongside with us at NBEA to strengthen the business education community. We would now like to turn our attention over to our past leaders. If you are an NBEA past president, would you please stand to be recognized? Next, if you are a regional association president, please stand to be recognized. If you serve on a regional board or a regional cabinet, would you please stand to be recognized? It is now time to induct our newest members to the National Business Education Hall of Fame. If you would like to nominate someone for the Hall of Fame, you can do so as part of an annual awards nomination process through the National Business Education Association. NBEA is assigning the future task of adding members to the Hall of Fame to a committee of our past presidents. To do this year's honors, we would like to welcome Keith Hanna to do this year's presentations. Keith.
Good afternoon. The purpose of the Hall of Fame is to pay tribute to those men and women who have made significant contributions to business education. Until now, and including this year, the Hall of Fame award has been a posthumous award. To be nominated, a candidate must have been an active business educator in the roles of teacher, lecturer, author, supervisor, and/or publisher. This year, the selection committee has chosen to induct two of our esteemed former colleagues. Our first honoree is Dr. Floyd D. Crank. Dr. Crank's first year of teaching was in a one-room school in Missouri before teaching at high schools in Illinois and at the University of Illinois. During the last 15 years of his teaching career, he was full professor in the College of Business at Northern Illinois University. And during his teaching career, and after he retired, he held visiting professorships at several universities in the United States and Canada. For years, Dr. Crank served as president of numerous state, regional, and national organizations, and was active in the International Society of Business Education, where he served on the board. He was the editor of several professional publications and was the author of numerous articles for state and national publications, including the NABT Review, the Delta Pi Epsilon Journal, and several NBEA yearbooks. He served as an editor for the Business Education Forum for 4 years. Dr. Crank received many awards during his career, including NBEA's prestigious John Robert Gregg Award for Distinguished Service to Business Education. In 2017, Dr. Crank passed away, but his service, dedication, and generosity to business education did not stop. In April 2019, the National Business Education Association became a beneficiary of that generosity. In his will, Dr. Crank bequeathed funds to establish the Floyd L. and Doris H. Crank Memorial Business Education Scholarship. Today, he joins his wife in the Business Education Hall of Fame, and just like Doris and the other men and women honored in the Hall of Fame, Dr. Crank inspired and continues to inspire future generations of business educators through his writing, teaching, and philanthropy. This year, we are pleased to announce a second honoree, George A. Wagner. George Wagner changed the lives of many aspiring young business education teachers. His 44 years of teaching and research resulted in numerous studies and other contributions to the body of literature of business education in the United States. He was particularly noted for his research in shorthand and for directing research in all phases of business education and office administration. George Wagner was a visionary, a leader, and a business education professional. He taught 32 years at the University of Tennessee at Knoxville, where he was a faculty member, then the head of business education and office programs. While serving as an administrator, he continued to teach as well. Professor Wagner directed 147 master's theses and served on 37 doctoral committees. Those numbers do not include the students he assisted with research and writing while not serving on the Students Graduate Committee. During his tenure at UTK, he taught every course that was offered in the department. He mentored students in his program, and he got to know his students personally. His students found him demanding and tough, but fair. He wanted his students to succeed, but he also wanted them to be prepared. Professor Wagner co-authored 3 textbooks and over 30 articles, and was the recipient of many awards during his respected career, including NBEA's prestigious John Robert Gregg Award for Distinguished Service to Business Education. So today, it is our pleasure, along with those former students, as well as his 2 daughters, Jan Kirchebald and Linda Perry, joining us remotely, to induct George Wagner into the Business Education Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Keith. Now we have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Pamela Bracey, who will be chairing NBEA's Council for Business Teaching and Research next year. Dr. Bracey is no stranger to us, and she is here to make an important presentation.
Good afternoon. The purpose of the Council for Business Teaching and Research Leadership Award is to recognize CBTR members for their outstanding leadership and service to the organization and the profession. This year's honoree has accomplished both. A former state supervisor for business education and a former high school business and marketing educator, her career has spanned many facets of business education over the last 20 years. This year, she served as both the Council for Business Teaching and Research Leadership Chair and the Publications Committee Task Force Chair. I am honored to present the 2023 Council for Business Teaching and Research National Leadership Award to a newly minted tenured associate professor in the Business Marketing and Computer Science Education Program at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, my friend, Dr. Denise Rosen.
For a minute. Thank you very much. I appreciate the recognition and the honor. I'm here now as a presenter. As the Publications Committee Chair, We recognize one member-submitted article to the Business Education Forum each year. This award recognizes a practitioner-authored article published. The goal of the award is to recognize and thank contributing authors and to encourage, hint, hint, those of you in the audience with an idea and a practice to share, to submit additional publications to the Business Education Forum. All articles are written in the preceding calendar year. And so this year, the Publications Committee has selected Teaching Resiliency in Business Education by Dr. Carol S. Wright.
Microphone. Congratulations. Proud of both of our, or all of our nominees today as well. I would now like to introduce the NBEA Awards Committee Chair, Dennis Krejci, to present additional awards.
Thank you, Delane. I would like to thank our awards committee for their work this year. So if you are on the awards committee and you're here today, would you please stand and be recognized? I know there's a couple. First award is the award for Middle School Secondary Business Education Teacher of the Year. This award is for outstanding contributions to business education. Areas that are considered are contributions to business education through teaching, contributions to business education through participation on the state, regional, and a national professional level. This year's recipient of the Middle School Secondary School Teacher of the Year has succeeded in these areas. After graduating with a degree in agribusiness, this year's honoree began her career as an auto claim representative. It was there, while assisting with mentoring and training new employees, she found a love for teaching that inspired her to obtain her teaching certification and master's in curriculum from Wayne State College. This year's recipient finds great joy in building relationships and developing young people in her hometown where she grew up. Currently in her 11th year of teaching, she teaches 9 different business classes, including 5 college classes at the local community college. She received the Mountain Plains Outstanding Contributions to Business Education by a Secondary Business Teacher Award in 2021 and was honored as the Nebraska State Business Education Outstanding Secondary Teacher of the Year in 2022. I'm delighted to announce that this year's Middle School, Secondary School Teacher of the Year is Melissa Dux, the business instructor at Fairbury Junior Senior High School in Fairbury, Nebraska. Our next award is the Post-Secondary Teacher of the Year Award. This award is for outstanding contributions to business education by a business instructor at a community, 2-year college, or technology institution. The key areas for this consideration are contributions to business education through teaching and participation on the state, regional, or national level. This year's recipient has served as a professor of business since 2007. He has earned numerous awards from the Illinois Business Education Association, Illinois Association for Career and Technical Education, North Central Business Education Association, and the Southern Illinois Business Education Association. He has served on the NBEA Strategic Planning Committee and has held multiple roles in IBEA, including president. Currently, he serves as an advisor to the SIBEA. In addition to being published, he has presented at numerous conferences throughout Illinois. The 2023 Post-Secondary Business Teacher of the Year is awarded to Dr. Jason Tanner, Professor of Business at John A. Logan College in Carterville, Illinois. Our next award is the Collegiate Teacher of the Year Award. This award is given for outstanding contributions to business education, specifically business teacher education by an instructor at a four-year college or university. The three areas are considered are contributions to business education through teaching, contributions to business education through publishing, and contributions to business education through participation state, regional, and national levels. This year's honoree is a passionate educator who strives to provide her students with a meaningful educational experience. Currently, in her 10th year of teaching, she previously taught on the high school level for 15 years. Prior to teaching, she worked in the finance industry and owned several businesses. In addition to teaching business education classes, she supervises business education pre-service teachers and coordinates a statewide entrepreneurship competition for middle and high school students. She has published 19 papers, co-authored one book, wrote a chapter for the NBEA yearbook in 2020, and has given over 30 presentations. She was recognized as a Ziegler Research Scholar and awarded Professional Development Fellowship. In addition to the business of her professional life, she's a wife and a mother of 4 children. It's my pleasure to present the 2023 Collegiate Teacher of the Year Award to Dr. Christina Force, an Associate Professor in Business Education at Bloomsburg University. Our last award is the Distinguished Service Award for outstanding contributions to business education by an administrator or supervisor of business education. The 4 key areas that are considered are contributions to business education through administrative and/or supervisory activities, participation in offices held at the local, state, regional, and national associations, development and/or support of educational programs, demonstration of efforts to inform the public of the achievements of business education and its contributions to business education through legislation. This year's participant is a recognized leader, educator, and scholar in business marketing education, and career and technical education, and has been on the faculty at Auburn University since 1999. She has held leadership roles in ACTER, UCWHRE, and NABTE. She currently serves on the Alabama State Department of Education Commerce and Information Technology Advisory Committee. Her research articles have appeared in the Journal of Research and Business Education, the Academy of Business Research Journal, the Business Teacher Education Journal, and other national journals. She has published 7 book chapters and conducted numerous workshops and presentations at conferences. I am pleased to present the 2023 Distinguished Service Award for Outstanding Contributions to Business Education to Dr. Leanne B. Skinner, Professor and Program Coordinator for Business Marketing Education at Auburn University. I believe she's joining us virtually. Okay.
Thank you, Dennis, and congratulations to all of our winners. Thank you, Dennis, for the hard work of your committee, everyone on the awards committee this year. I know that you had left no stones unturned in making sure we had great candidates for awards here today. First, we would like to recognize our leaders who helped make this year meaningful as well. If you chaired a committee this year, please stand. In the NBEA committee. If you chaired an NBEA committee this year, thank you for standing, or raise your hand online as well. Leading a committee takes dedication and focus, and we appreciate these individuals who have served as a chair. Now, if you have served on an NBEA committee or task force, would you please join your chairpersons in standing unless they step down? Let's give these individuals a thank you slide. Next, we would like to recognize our outgoing NBEA officers and directors. We already provided gifts to our outgoing directors, so please step forward when your name is called and remain at the front until we recognize all of you together. Keith Hanna, our immediate past president, who was with us earlier. Forward, Keith. Alicia Bullen from the Southern Business Education Association. I think Alicia is, she's right here, sorry. And finally, Michelle Taylor, our CIBE representative. Please come forward. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service to NBEA. Also like to recognize Denise Roseland, the outgoing chair for the Council of Business and Teacher Research. Denise. Thank you. Now we would like to announce NBEA's new board members who recently committed or were nominated and elected to serve the organization for the next year or years. For those of you who are new to the NBEA board this year, please come forward. Cheryl Wiedemeyer, Elizabeth Diamond, and Lori Hoff. Lori Hoff was just selected as by our board of directors as our incoming president-elect. Lori has served as our secretary treasurer for the past 2 years, and she will be the great knowledge and skills that our organization will need to take us forward. Very excited to have Lori joining this role. At this point, Mr. Joe McClary is coming forward to help us with some closing comments as well about our board. Long walk from the back of the room.
Thank you, Delane. part of the job as an executive director of NBEA, you get the pleasure of working with some of the cream of the crop of the business education community, and Delane is no exception. His family has supported him in his involvement in NBEA, and it doesn't go back 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It goes back 25 or more years. And that's the type of leaders we really appreciate are those who understand the business education space, who understand the difference between strategic and tactical leadership, those who embrace a vision for the future. And I can tell you from my personal experience, Delane is one of those leaders. So it's with my appreciation that we'd like to present you with a special gift this year. Recognize you as our president and soon to be outgoing president. I look forward to working with you for another year as our immediate past. Give Delane a big round of applause for all his hard work.
Sorry, everyone has a cell phone. Someone remind me not to forget my plaque here when I go tonight. At this point, I would like Keith Hanna to come back forward to help us with our installation of officers and those that were up here. We're going to come back up here and be officially installed.
Thank you, Delane. So if all of the executive board members who will be in office on July 1st, 2023, if you would please join us on stage. Don't be shy.
Why we told you to sit close.
Thank you. The National Business Education Association has a rich history spanning over a century. Past leaders, some of us with us, some departed, have made their mark on business education in numerous ways. It's now your time. It's your time to lead, your time to share, your time to sacrifice, your time to celebrate, your time to learn, and your time to make a difference. Good leaders are recognized by their peers. You have earned the respect and admiration of your peers to stand before the membership of NBEA today and take this oath of office as you start or continue your term on the NBEA Executive Board. Would you raise your right hand? I will ask you to affirm these commitments. I will read them first. I promise to uphold the governing documents of the National Business Education Association. I promise to practice my fiduciary duties, including duty of care, duty of loyalty, and the duty of obedience. If you agree to these commitments, please respond by saying, I do. I do. With that response, I hereby pronounce you installed as the NBEA Executive Board effective July 1st, 2023. Let's please give these individuals a round of applause.
Thank you to our officers, board members that are joining us. Their job is oftentimes unrecognized. So we're recognizing them here today. But we also appreciate all the behind the scenes work that happens through our NBEA board. The work is never stopping. So thank you. Pamela's going to go her own way. So I'd like to close today with just a few thoughts. Just a few thoughts as we close out this convention. It's been a great experience. I'm humbled and honored that you allowed me to serve as your president of the National Business Education Association this year. As the attendees of this conference, thank you. I hope you are walking away with newfound knowledge, new things to take into your classrooms, your offices, the places that you work, the people that you love, the people that you live with. There's so much to be gained from the experiences that have happened here today. Again, I need to thank the board of the National Business Education Association that works so closely with me and with us. Everyone in this room that I work with is just always a phone call, a text message, an email away, and appreciate that work as well. The NBEA staff, especially Joe, Becca, and Jerry, appreciate all that you have done for this organization. They are really and truly constantly thinking about what is best for business education and making sure that you walk away with solid experiences as well. Joe mentioned my family, and I cannot thank my family enough. Unfortunately, we run a lot of different directions, and they couldn't join me here today. But my wife Gina, my son Zach, and Josh both had to give some of their parenting up, I guess, this year, so that I can be part of this organization as well. Also thank my colleagues, those that are with me here today, Kelly and Jody. And all of my close colleagues from the state of Nebraska that have been by my side all this while. I appreciate them very much. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Dr. Arneson. Dr. Arneson was my college advisor, my mentor, and really taught me everything I needed to know about business education. So I feel like this is only my job now to take that and share it forward. Fortunately, we lost Kat earlier this year, and she'll be missed greatly. NBEA is a true community. And I see that here through all the new attendees, but also all of the people that I come and see every year. I think many of us come here because of the friendships that we have, but also NBEA is a standard in professionalism. You know, we talk a lot about the standards of business education, the standards for the courses that we teach, but really we are at a higher standard. I've heard so many times that administrators, leaders, members of our community look to us first, and that is because we exhibit that higher standard in what we do. I heard a couple things from our speakers over the last several days. Tailor-made with gifts and talents. Justin Gallon shared that with us yesterday. It feels like I've been here for weeks. But we all are tailor-made with those gifts and talents. And please make sure you carry those forward and share those with those that you know and love. I need to remind my kids that they are also one of those gifts and talents when I tell them things that they're doing wrong. I also heard from this morning, make decisions with your head and execute with your heart. Greg Moore shared us with that if you were at the panel this morning, and that was just another great takeaway. You know, continuously thinking, but also executing with your heart as well. I want to end my thoughts with a couple of quotes. I'm a fan of the Golden Girls. Keith, I've got your attention now. Keith and I are going to quit the NBEA board eventually, and we're going to join the Golden Con board so that we can plan those conferences. So that's my goal in life, I guess. But a couple of great quotes to walk away with from that show that puts me to sleep every night. This comes from Sophia. People waste their time wondering if the glass is half empty or half full. I just drank what's in the glass. And this one, I was going to throw it out, but Joe, you almost said it for me. Look, you didn't ask for my opinion, but I'm old, so I'm going to give it anyway. And that's what I have constantly done this year and the goals that we have for our organization. So I thank you for joining me on this journey. As we wrap up, I also want to make sure you're invited to the 2024 convention in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So Kansas City, you had the warm, you had the cold, school, you had the baseball, you had a taste of football, you had great food, promising a great experience. I mean, look at that picture. How could you not want to possibly come to Myrtle Beach next year? So it has been an amazing year at NBEA, and we anticipate an even better 2023-24. We are grateful for the dedication of the award winners that we recognize today and their proven dedication to education. As we prepare to depart, the year ahead of us is a chance for us to recommit ourselves collectively to empower educators to achieve excellence in business education. Enjoy the rest of your time in Kansas City, or if you're virtual, enjoy the rest of your time where you're at. Also, make sure you save the dates. This is where you get out your phone and you go to March 2024. So scroll away for you to find that date. March 26th through 29th is when we will be at our NBEA convention in 2024 in beautiful Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Are you ready for the beach? Are you ready to go to the beach? Yes, we are dismissed. Thank you.
Oh,